I can't even say have sex with girls. That's how gay I am. I only make love with girls. It was not until I was 18 or 19 I came to terms with who I am. Because I even tried dating girls. Like from the age of 16, 17, I was dating girls. I was trying to, see if I want to make love to them or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't even say have sex with girls. That's how gay I am. I only make love with girls. That's what.
Hey. And it's so at this point, I'm just thinking, right? Like, if you know you're gay, you're not moving to a village in Bangalore. You know what I mean?
Yes and no. First of all, like in terms of like wanting to get away from people altogether, because that would be like I would start a new chapter altogether. So I had strongly spoken about this to my family as well. My mom was like, my dad does have some land, but it's under dispute right now. And it's a whole it's a clusterfuck. So we dropped that idea altogether. But there was a very strong possibility that if I had chosen to, I could have moved and lived in Mangalore by myself and started my whole life, from scratch. So that was very alluring. But again, I knew that lifestyle over there would be very difficult as compared to the city life. So by the time I had come to understand my orientation, I'd also had sexual encounters, not only with my cousin back in Mangalore, but local trains happened. I know people say hey Navin, you mentioned that in a lot of your sets, but it was such a pivotal part of my life, that whole local train experience.
Yeah, I'm amazed.
Like a whole sojourn of sorts. Yeah.
Those stories that you have told me have blown my brains out, because I had no idea this was happening.
Full on. It happens at a very open, obviously people don't know because of the crowd, but it happens. It's very obvious. You have to just play the cards right, know which one of your other members in the train is like you. It's it's crazy, man. It's fucking crazy.
So for those people who haven't heard this story, could you just give an idea of what the fuck is going on in the local
Which
trains?
Which one do you want to hear?
Just how does this, cause these people don't know, right? People listening, y'all don't know what he's talking about at all. So just to give them context.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one I know because I was wiser that day. Most of the times I was not wise, so I'll tell you the not wise one as well. First one, so I'm sitting in a train, and back then I used to read papers. I used to buy newspapers at the newspaper stall at the station, and read from Bandra to Bhayandar because I was studying in Mahim. So that was my journey. Okay, so one day I'm reading the newspaper. One man comes. So I'm sitting down. Okay, I'm on the seat, and a man comes and stands in front of me. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I'm holding the newspaper. He's rubbing his crotch against my hand. Okay, so must have happened a mistake in the beginning, but I enjoyed it. I'm okay. So I keep my hand hovering there for a little longer.
Right.
So, and then slowly and steadily, this guy's getting very hard, okay? He's full on getting a boner. So now I fold newspaper in 4 parts, so I can keep it against his crotch altogether and shove my hand behind the paper, and I'm groping him, okay? I'm full on fucking touching his penis and unzip him and put my hands inside also, okay? In a crowded evening train, nobody knows, okay? Then when Bhayandar comes, I have to get down, and this guy doesn't stay in Bhayandar. He knows, he knows I'm getting off, so he follows me, okay? So now while I stand up and I get off with my bag, and for me that was the whole thing. I touched his penis, I enjoyed it. I'm 17, okay? So I'm this is fun. And I get off and I start getting off. This guy comes and stands behind me first of all, and he's shorter than me at that point also. So he's trying to first of all hump me from behind, and I'm ugh, whatever, but I like penis, I guess, I don't know. So and then I get off at Bhayandar, and then I look behind, he's still there. He gets off with me, okay?
Right.
And he's jaga hai, and I'm I don't know what he means. And he's just so while I'm walking on the bridge, he's following me also, saath mein. Right. I'm trying to avoid him, he's saath mein only, he's coming.
Right.
And then while getting off the bridge, he held my hand, dude. He just grabbed my hand this. And then he puts his hand to his face. So he starts doing this, kissing on my palm. And I'm just getting scandalized more and more because I don't know how to react. Because obviously I've led him on by touching his penis. But now I don't know how to get out of it. Because now wherever I go, I think he'll follow me. And I'm still a kid, right? I'm 17. So I tell him there's a restaurant here, we can go here. Because there's a bathroom there. And so I tell him to go ahead. So he goes in the restaurant and I run away from there. And now there's nothing else to hide into. So there's only this HP gas booking station over there where my gas we used to book from. So I ran inside there and I just I booked gas instead of doing anything else. So I'm standing at the entrance of the gas place and I'm looking out and he's kuch tension hai, koi aapko dara raha hai kya? And I'm nothing. But how do I tell him that I'm a faggot
yeah.
who's being chased by a faggot? It's kind of crazy. So then I quietly like open the door and I catch a rickshaw and I run home. So that was a very scary point because you don't know
Yeah.
what the man will do, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. The second time I would say I was working by then. I had already like I was in my early 20s. There was a man called Royston. I'd say his name. I don't know why I said his name, but no one's going to look him up now. So I would like travel late at night again, like 2 to 11 job, remember? So I would like travel 11:30 in the night, and this guy I once saw him in the train. Okay, and so from the entire duration, like when I got in Andheri to Bainder, we had just like not stopped looking at each other. There was no physical whatever. It was just like it was an empty train, so we didn't even take the chance of like doing that in the first place. So he was standing there and I'm standing here and we're just like gawking at each other, okay? And I'm like, and he's quite my type also. So I'm like, he's a berry looking guy, chubby, cute, whatever, and looks well educated or whatever. So I was like, yeah, cute. Then he got over at Mira Road, like that's where his stop was. So he got over at Mira Road, and I went and I stood by the door to see what his deal is. And instead of going, people usually get off trains and start walking, right? They go to the bridge. This guy stood there and kept staring at me, and the train moved, and he kept staring, and I kept staring. So it was like very, like a very
intense,
romantic thing almost. Yeah, like you don't have that for queer people, essentially. Like we don't have that narrative in our lives because this is very Bollywoodized, but no one told us that this is possible for us as well. Like aako hi aako mein, we can also like have feelings, So this was, I think, the beginning of December of that year. I saw him, he saw me, we forgot about each other, and then we moved on. Then December 30th, like the New Year ka pehle wala day, I see this guy again, okay? This time I'm traveling alone because earlier I had my friend, so I didn't take any physical steps. So this time I was alone. So I'm like, hey, I remember you from last time. He's like, yeah, I remember you as well. And then like we just chatted the entire journey of the train. We just spoke, and like he told me how he used to work at Taj Lands End, like the place where the attacks happened, and he was attacked by the terrorist, and he was physically harmed by a terrorist. Like he had like an entire scar with a metal plate in his hand and all because of the thing. And I was like, wow, fucking great and all. So we were just like speaking, and then we found very common things, that he used to live in the same building as my event organizer and all that. So I'm like, great. So then we got over at Mira Road, and I just wanted to sit on the bench with him. Like, for the first time I was having this very naturally, built moment where I'm finally talking to a man without going to a dating site or like touching his penis in the train, So, but then he also wanted the same thing. Turned out like he just wanted that one night ka satisfaction. So, if Mira doesn't have a west, it only has east. There's only like salt pans in the west.
Yeah.
So we ended up like going in the salt pans and making out and like, rubbing each other off. And me, like being that stupid 20-year-old, I was like, wow, I really like this guy. So I'm like, hey, I'll meet you for New Year's. And I called him on New Year's, he didn't answer. And then like I kept calling him till the 12th of Jan, even after 12 days into January, like an idiot. And he didn't answer my phone.
See,
and then years later, I found him on Grindr. And I messaged him on Grindr. He said, hi, hello. Then he asked me who I am. I showed him my face. He realized who I am and he blocked me again. Which is just the most dickish thing to do. So then like, after that thing, I stopped the train.
This really scares me though, man. Like, I feel really scared for gay kids who and like, it's so dangerous to explore your sexuality. You know what I mean?
Now it's easier.
Yeah.
Now it is much, like now there's so many apps, there's social media also designed. People are very aesthetically queer on their profiles. Like even, that's why I envy Abhi's generation. Like even though we have 7 years gap, like a lot changed in that 7 years. 7 years. 6 years, whatever. Like a lot changed for them because the internet happened so massively later on. Like 2009, 2010, everything changed. So like, I feel like in that time, it was like a whole different change. 1 second, huh? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but like, I mean, just, man, it just really shakes me, dude. It's like this, right? Like say hypothetically you smoke ganja, right? And you're somebody who smokes ganja and it's illegal, so you're smoking pretty much anything. And one fine day, there's more rat poison than should be, and you're done. It's off. Like you end up getting sick or you end up getting dead. I mean, no, I don't know anyone who has died of such a thing.
But I wrote an entire article on Vice about this because I actually put out a story asking for like these cases, and this happens more often than you can imagine. Like even with like these new age apps that the gays have discovered, like this one called Blued. Apart from trying to just Blued, this Scruff. And these are very shady profiles because like people don't show their faces usually, and I have a joke about that as well. But in reality, the scary part is that if you don't know the face, people are like horny enough to like take that journey and go and meet them also. So this one boy, my friend posted a story on Facebook about this guy. He was beaten black and blue, dude. Like he was bloody. His chin was broken. His lips were torn. And I'm like, what happened? And I spoke to this guy, and he told me like he had to actually leave his house to talk to me because first of all, his parents, he didn't want him to hear what he had gone through. He just told him that he got into a fight, somebody stole his phone, and he was mugged. But exactly that happened to him, but with a bunch of gay boys who I don't even know if they're gay. Just like they're hooligans who made profile over here and extorted this one young boy. And this was not even a solo scenario. It happens across the country so many times.
Yeah.
You know, gullible gay boys and girls and trans kids are like lured in by the idea of sex, and then like people snatch their money, they beat them up, they abuse them, and it's very common. So it's like you have to have a certain guard about yourself, and I think like I'm very lucky that day I got away from it, but it could have happened to me as well, you know.
Yeah, that's what.
So that's what.
Ooh, that sounds scary as hell. Oh man. Now, what strikes me as very, very disturbing with this is that, you know, you were discovering your sexuality at a time when it was illegal to be of that inclination. And I mean, inclination is a mild word for what is essentially your default setting as a human being. But,
Yeah.
you know, of belonging to this default. Now with the fact that things have now been decriminalized, do you see somewhat of a reduction in the amount of blackmail type things that are happening, especially when it comes to cops on these apps and all? Or do you feel like it's, I mean, I know you've been in a relationship, but like from your sutro se kya lagta hai tere ko?
Funnily enough, I wrote the article after 377. Like this happened last year, you know. So not much has changed. Personally, like this, the same kind of repulsion that people have. We've managed to change perspectives, yes, like through our activism, outreach, and like sure by like, you know, people being existing and like doing the pride and everything. There has been a marginal like you know, interest in like learning about our struggles and lives, and a lot of people have also been like, okay, they exist, let them exist, fine, cool, but then there's like certain amount of vitriol like on Facebook. If you go to see, especially like I always condemn Geo for this one factor that before education happened in India, we got internet in India. Like before people from the small towns could get even a 10th pass degree, they are now using Geo to like go online and spread hate. And in India, you know that like people are such a mess of because of all the economic background situations, their homes, their families. All the outrage comes on the internet, and when they find a target, they you know, all the bile comes out. Even now, like I get so much shit on my comments on YouTube because of like my coming out that I have to like delete most of them because, you know, like some of them are very horrible. They're not even like human at one point, and then I'm like, okay, I don't want, because I know like a lot of queer younger kids read my comments and watch my video. I don't want that negativity over there. Some of them I've pinned in the past to like put in the top saying, okay, take their case.
Yeah.
But some of them are just like horrible people, and these people are like